Alle wach?
Oof, that was close. If I ever tell the story to my grandchildren, I should describe the landing with a little more dignity.
Damit herzlich willkommen zurück zu Eve Williams. Ich dachte, ich lade mal das Spiel und mache gleich mal die Aufnahme an. Das hatte ich schon wieder ganz vergessen hier.
Someone has to keep this fire going. Ghost towns like this one are nowhere near as abandoned as you might think. Rather, they are a magnet for the criminals and outcasts. Even if I were not in such a hurry, I should not stay here longer than absolutely necessary.
Okay, dann gucken wir mal, dass wir möglichst schnell weggehen. Mal gucken, was wir hier noch im Abfallcontainer finden.
A waste container. It was there when I needed it, and that's all there is to it.
Okay. Seitenstraße. Hier gibt es doch vielleicht irgendwas Wichtiges, Tolles, Schönes.
The lighting still works. Looks like power is being supplied to parts of the building.
Das ist schon mal gut.
It's pitch black in there. Besides, the building looks like it could collapse at any moment. I'm not going in there.
Na gut. Vielleicht in die zerstörte Mall.
Someone went to the trouble of bringing this construction site lighting system down here. The system is functional and humming to itself.
Okay, das ist doch schon mal toll, wenn hier was funktioniert.
Nothing interesting here.
Hast du gar nicht richtig geguckt? Vielleicht ist da irgendwas Spannendes. Okay, verlassen. Mehr ist hier nicht, ne? Nur die Beleuchtungsmaschine. Wir haben auch nur noch den Kleiderbügel. Dann gehen wir mal wieder raus. So, können wir hier in die Richtung noch weitergehen? Nee, ne? Das geht nicht. Dann zurück zur Kreuzung. Wenn es eine Kreuzung ist, muss man ja sicherlich auch noch irgendwo anders hinkommen. Aha, nach Osten. Im Osten steht auch ein Müllcontainer.
The thing smells like a corpse is decomposing inside. I don't want to check to see if that's really the case.
Na gut.
Definitely a pre-war model. Nowadays, authorities almost exclusively use hovercars and hoverbikes because it makes them much more flexible.
Klingt sinnvoll. Mal gucken, was wir bei der Brücke haben. Ein Mast, mit dem wir nichts machen können. Hier unten geht's Stufen. Ja, dann Stufen. Oha, wer ist das denn?
I can literally see the diseases I would get if I touched that. I don't think anything in there would be useful enough to take the risk.
Okay, gucken wir uns nochmal das Fahrzeug an.
A car, and a rope-worthy one at that. That's exactly what I need right now.
Oh. Hands off my car if you don't want trouble.
Okay, okay.
Just get out and let me do my job.
Ja, wir reden mal mit ihm.
Go away. This is my territory. If you want loot, find another corner.
Why so unfriendly? What is your name, stranger?
Who wants to know?
Oh, of course. I'm Eve, and I...
You misunderstood me. I'm not interested in your life story, and I don't have time for small talk.
Wow, woman must run after you in hordes.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Why so unfriendly? What is your name, stranger?
Who wants to know?
Oh, of course.
You,
Was,
I'm
hatte ich schon?
excuse.
So, das hatten wir schon.
There is nothing here but toxic, irradiated waste. Are you looking for something in particular?
Do I look like this is some exotic hobby for me? I have to earn a living. Areas like this are very dangerous, but here you can still find enough scrap metal or other raw materials to sell. Not that it's any of your business.
But they're definitely rats here too.
So what? Rats are pretty awesome animals, and smarter than some new ones.
Listen, I really need to get back to New Cologne.
Did you hear me?
I am not deaf, but that is not my problem.
Certainly not, but...
Wir nehmen mal das hier.
I wouldn't bother you unless it was really urgent.
Could you please take me to New Cologne?
Could you please leave me alone? I am not a cab company. I worked here and you are wasting my time.
Come on, Barty, please.
I said no. Go away. Go away. This is...
Okay, haben wir noch irgendwas anderes?
Listen, I really need to get back to...
I am
Certainly not.
Dann probieren wir das hier.
Listen, I know you don't know me and have no reason to trust me, but a young woman could die if I don't get back to New Cologne as soon as possible.
People die every day. Nobody prevents that.
This death can't be prevented. But I can't do it alone. Please. You can't possibly be so jaded that you don't give a damn.
All right. But I'm not doing it for free.
My crypto wallet was stolen, so I'm completely broke.
Then forget it.
Wait, isn't there any other way? What if I owe you a favor or something?
You are really persistent. All right. I'll help you get to New Cologne. But first, you do something for me. Here, take this canister and get fuel for the trip.
Thanks, really? Any idea where I can find fuel here?
You'll have to figure that out for yourself. If it were that simple, I could do it myself.
Okay, good. I'll be right back.
We will see.
Okay, ja, das wird sicherlich kein Problem sein. Das sollte dann ja in dieser Maschine sein, die wir da gefunden hatten. In der Mall auf der ganz anderen Seite. Das heißt, wir müssen jetzt ja noch einmal über diese ganzen Bildschirme gehen, die aber zum Glück nicht so groß sind. Was wie Sprinten gibt es hier auch nicht. Rausgeklickt. Hi. Hallo? Seitenstraße. Mall. Beleuchtungsanlage.
Someone went to the trouble of bringing this. The system is functioning.
Genau. Und deswegen holen wir uns jetzt den Sprit.
There was enough fuel in the rig's tank to fill the canister.
Gut. Dann gehen wir jetzt den ganzen Weg wieder zurück. Ach, schön. Zur Kreuzung. Nach Osten. Dann kam die Brücke, glaube ich schon, ne? Kommt dann noch schon die Brücke? Ich hoffe. Ja, genau, dann kommt die Brücke. Dann müssen wir hier ein bisschen rübergehen, die Stufen runter. So, und dann können wir ihm den Kanister geben.
Here, the canister is full.
Indeed. Okay, then I want to hold up my end of the bargain. There you go.
What is that?
A bicycle?
I see. The deal was that you take me to New Cologne by car.
No, the deal was that I help you to get to New Cologne. I'll have work to do here. But cycling is faster than walking.
Not fast enough. I told you, it's really urgent.
If you don't want the bike, I get good money for the matter.
No, it's okay. I'll take it.
Sehr schön. Klingeling.
I raced back to the hotel as fast as I could. I blamed myself terribly for leaving Mizuki alone.
Hope I wasn't too late.
I rushed back to our room and told Mizuki's name over and over again. However, I quickly realized that Mizuki wasn't here.
Had I come too late? And all of a sudden, I got a really, really bad feeling.
Citizen Eve Williams, you are accused of kidnapping, assault, and ransom extortion offenses. Your hair will be arrested. You have the right to remain silent.
Yep. A really bad feeling.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to have a defense attorney present at every interrogation. If you can't afford a defense attorney, one will be provided for you.
Well, there I was. From rescuer to perpetrator in less than 48 hours. Events had been escalating ever since I took on Smith's assignment. So quickly, in fact, that I completely lost track of everything by now. It was clear that the Paetzold's plan that had cast me as the scapegoat had worked perfectly. The police believed I was Mizuki's kidnapper. The clues that pointed to me as the prime suspect seemed to greatly appeal to the investigating officer. It appeared that the current investigation was solely focused on extracting a confession for me to close the case. I could even almost understand it. It was just so blatantly obvious. Someone had apparently given the Muramatsu family information that their daughter was being held by a desperate private investigator, and they disclosed our whereabouts. Well, at least Mizuki was safe with her family. And even though she was suffering from amnesia, she was no longer alone and received all the help she needed. Meanwhile, I was preoccupied at a gripping question of how much further I could fall before finally hitting rock bottom.
So you're sticking with the version where you are actually the victim, Citizen Eve Williams.
Oh, stop it. If you keep calling me Citizen Eve Williams, I feel like a grandmother.
So, let's go through it again. You were hired by a client to transport a car to an unknown buyer, right?
I've already told you all that. I gave you the name and even the address of the man who hired me to transport the car.
That guy called Smith, huh? Not very imaginative with the name. Anyhow, we looked into the address you mentioned. It appears to be a holiday rental. The owner was able to provide evidence from their booking system showing that the house was unoccupied for the past 2 weeks. And before you ask, the owner has been abroad for the entire year and has a bulletproof alibi as a result.
Okay, wir müssen irgendwie das Vertrauen des Ermittlers bekommen. Puh, haben jetzt hier nur 2 Sachen. Ja, der ist wahrscheinlich leer. Das hier ist dann sicherlich interessanter.
All right, I get the point. And I already had a feeling that Smith wasn't the real name of that guy. But I didn't make it out. Questioning the bartender at the club diner, he saw Smith and remembers him. There are recordings of Smith and his associates in the bouncer John's memory.
Interesting that you mentioned that. The bartender actually remembers someone, and that someone is you. He says that you blackmailed him to disclose sensitive information and threatened him with physical violence if he didn't cooperate. That's behavior that would be fitting for a hostage taker, don't you think?
Ja.
Speaking of the rest, the bartender should be sitting here instead of me. He sexually harassed me several times during my questioning.
That's a serious allegation, Citizen Eve Williams. Nevertheless, filing a police report would have been the correct course of action. Responding to violence with violence is not the way to go.
Hell. And I what I said. I could only make it worse.
Oh je.
What about all the incriminating material? In the storage room I also gave you the address of.
First, I am asking the questions here. Secondly, the storage room you mentioned, which, by the way, has no connection to anyone named Smith whatsoever, was empty except for a few old carpets.
Empty? But I could have expected that. Slith was no novice in this business. Unfortunately, this knowledge did not help me in any way.
Tja, mehr wissen wir auch nicht.
No more clever objections? All right, let's continue.
I really don't understand why you're so fixated on the idea that I am the main suspect in this case. I mean, sure, I may seem like the most convenient solution and make for a perfect scapegoat. But you also have Mizuki's statement, don't you? She must have told you that I was the one who saved her and helped her.
Citizen Mizuki Muramatsu's statement was indeed quite revealing. According to her, she saw you for the first time when you hit her on the head with a trunk lid, and then brought her to the agreed location for the hostage exchange. Remind me again, at which point does her statement exonerate you?
Tja, da rächt sich jetzt diese Entscheidung.
The exchange didn't go as planned, it seems. According to the Muramatsu family's statement, you allegedly assaulted their representatives and fled with the hostage. Is that correct? Refusing to cooperate is extremely unwise, Miss Williams. Or are you starting to run out of the fairy tales you've been feeding me since the beginning of the interrogation?
Are we done then, detective? I understand that all the evidence seems to be pointing against me, rather than in my favor. It seems to have been Smith's plan all along. But I assure you, I'm one of the good guys. If you would just take a closer look.
I'm afraid everything you've provided so far doesn't contribute to your exoneration, Miss Williams. Of course, you will have the opportunity to convince the judge of your innocence during the trial. You should reconsider and consider appointing a defense attorney. You may return to your cell now, Miss Williams.
Tja, viel machen konnten wir da jetzt nicht.
I'm thankful for the sink. It ensures a minimum level of personal hygiene and the water is drinkable. I'm only allowed to use the shared washrooms with showers once a week.
Ooh.
There is no privacy when using the toilet. This is so degrading. The mattress is as thin as a piece of paper and scratches terribly. But I've leaned on worse. There wasn't much to do in the small cell. I spent a few days thinking and staying in shape with push-ups and sit-ups. The days rolled by while I was listening to the surrounding noises of the fellow inhabitants and counted the flickering of the cold LED lights above me.
Können wir hier sonst noch irgendwas machen?
A grid separates me from the outside world. If I keep getting this lousy foo year, maybe I'll be skinny enough soon to squeeze through.
Oh.
There is no private
Ja, müssen wir wieder ins Bett.
time for a nap. In a few weeks, my trial will take place. The police didn't seem to be bothering to investigate further. But why should they? They had a fabulous suspect in me. All the evidence pointed towards me. I couldn't afford a good lawyer, especially not one who had a chance against an influential family like the Muramatsus. If I hadn't accomplished anything else in this case, at least I would contribute to Detective George Shelton's record with a successfully solved case.
Tja,
I'm thankful.
ich glaube, wir können uns wieder ins Bett legen.
In the desolate surroundings of my tiny investigation cell, it was tempting to just give up and accept my fate. What could I really accomplish from here? However, my determination to keep fighting remained unbroken. I knew I was innocent. I simply needed to figure out a way to prove it. Or it fate, or karma, or just plain luck. But just in the moment, I thought it through. With an expression that oscillated between disbelief and reluctance, Detective Shelton explained to me that bail had been posted on my behalf. I must have looked as confused as he felt because he just shook his head and mumbled something like, "Don't look at me like that. I don't understand it myself." Then he shooed me out of the cell.
I have to remind you not to leave the city or pull any stunts. Don't think you're off the hook just because you're out on bail. If you even cough in the no parking zone, I'll be there to arrest you again.
Bloß nichts sagen.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't suspected of being a criminal, I might actually find you likable.
Ooh.
As I left the New Cologne Police Department building, I had to readjust my eyes to the brightness of the sunlight. I greedily took in the fresh air into my lungs and punned up a detective's strange words. I wondered who had posted my bail. My thoughts were abruptly interrupted when a well-dressed elderly lady approached me, whose facial features bore a striking resemblance to Mizuki.
Ah, you must be Eve. Mizuki really described you in great detail.
Mizuki described me to you? Oh, then you must be...
Ach, das ist lächerlich, ja. Wir sind schon ernsthaft hier.
Mizuki's mom, right? I noticed the resemblance straight away.
Yes, you are right. I am Mizuki's mother. Naomi Muramatsu, very pleased to meet you, Miss Williams.
Yes, same, Mrs. Muramatsu. But... what are you doing here?
Well, I posted your bail and got you out of this dreadful cell, my dear. I assumed this is what you would have wanted.
I'm grateful that you did this, Mrs. Muramatsu. But where's Mizuki? Is she okay?
Interesting. Despite all the trouble you had because of the kidnapping of my daughter, you inquire first about how she is doing. Not quite the typical behavior of a heartless criminal, if you ask me. My husband, Masuto Muramatsu, and I nearly died worrying about our daughter. Of course, the police investigated behind closed doors, but without any results worth mentioning. When we then heard that the parent hostage transfer went horribly wrong and Mizuki had disappeared again, we feared the worst. Then suddenly, we received an anonymous tip that Mizuki had checked into a seedy downtown hotel with a young woman matching your description. The police then immediately sent a task force to bring Mizuki to safety and catch her kidnapper. You know the rest.
Wonderful. So it seems the case was closed. The lead detective has also conjured up so many compelling pieces of evidence that suggest I'm the villain. But instead of being glad to have the kidnapper of your daughter behind bars, she posed my bail. What's the point of that?
Circumstantial evidence. That's the point. I had a feeling from the beginning that something was off about this whole thing. I mean, what kidnapper leaves their hostage alone, unguarded, and untied to go on an outing? Mizuki's belongings included a key card to the hotel room. What kidnapper gives their hostage the key to their prison? Mizuki could have left at any time if she wanted to, but she didn't.
Instead, you permitted my arrest and allowed me to be treated like a criminal.
Mizuki's father believes that her amnesia prevents her from having an impartial assessment of the situation. He thinks that you exploited the amnesia to manipulate Mizuki into compliance. I mean, her first memory is your face, leaning over the trunk where she was trapped, half-starved. Oh God.
So if I get it right, he believes that Mizuki is experiencing Stockholm Syndrome, and that's the reason she's providing testimony in my favor, correct?
Masuto is certain that Mizuki's sympathy towards you is not proof of your innocence. After all, her testimony only pertains to the time after her abduction. She has no recollection of the abduction itself. I want to be completely honest with you, my dear. My husband wants to get rid of you and throw away the key.
So I'm wondering again, why then would he agree to bail me out?
He doesn't agree, Miss Williams. He simply doesn't know about it. I'm not saying I trust you implicitly, but the case isn't nearly as clear to me as it is to my husband and the NCPD. Of course, I also want the people who kidnapped and held my beloved daughter hostage to be locked away forever. But I want to uncover the actual perpetrators, not merely find a poor scapegoat and shift responsibility onto. Even though my child has to regain her memories, I trust her judgment. According to her, you're a young woman with a lot of problems, but a good heart. I believe that you only wanted to help my Mizuki.
Well, then, I guess I have to thank you.
Don't express gratitude prematurely, my young one. Your legal proceedings will commence in under a fortnight. The Muramatsus carry vast influence. They will make short work of you. I advise you to use the respite I have given you wisely. Prove your innocence and find those really behind my daughter's kidnapping. If you provide my husband and me with evidence, I give you my word that not only will you be completely exonerated, but you'll also receive a recommendation from our company for your office. You won't be able to keep up with all the requests for your services, and that's the only way to ensure Mizuki is truly safe.
It won't be easy to check Mizuki's surroundings and dig through the dirt without your husband noticing.
You simply have to be very discreet. Mizuki will be present to support you. Also, I'm providing you with Mizuki's personal assistant, Akito Minami, as your advisor. He is very knowledgeable about Mizuki's work in the corporation and can certainly help you with many questions and research.
Okay?
Mizuki and Akito are already waiting for you at Mizuki's apartment for a status update. I'll give you building access codes to get past the gatekeeper droid. I also took the liberty of having your motorbike brought here.
I had a lot to process. I was free, for now. Apparently not everyone affected by the kidnapping thought I was guilty. However, I was not free from a suspicion. It felt like I was balancing in the middle of the scale. One small step in the wrong direction, and I would lose everything. Thanks to Mizuki and her mother, I finally have fair chance.
And Miss Williams?
Yes, ma'am?
Much luck. Don't screw it up, kid.
Wir geben uns Mühe. Dann aber in der nächsten Folge. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Bis dann.